So what I did is I went ahead and did the exact same thing to the dent that I did in the back there. I went ahead and used my grinder, okay, with a Roll-O-Lock pad. This is 36 grit, okay, and I went ahead and did it in a motion such as this, and then I came back and I did it in a motion like that. Now this dent here, it's pretty irrelevant that it's the whole spot there. And then on this one, I did the same thing. I came across like this. I found my dark spot and I went up and down to find out where the core of the dent is, the center of it. Now don't forget, when something dents in, it also rolls it out and pushes it out, okay? And I don't know if you can see this in the picture or not, but there's also a very light body line in this area right in here that we have to put back into the truck. And I also see right in this area, if you can see that, I don't even know if you can, that there's two imperfections that are pushed out. Now that's probably from when this thing got hit right in this area. That's a very close tight wall situation, and it made it. So what I'm going to do on our high spots, we'll go ahead and fix those first. I'm going to take my body hammer, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take the shrinking side of the body hammer, and I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Now when I'm hitting it, it's, okay, see how I'm doing that? I'm not giving it a forward straight blow right at it. I'm hitting it at an angle, okay? Here's another one right here. And as I look at that, I see that it's actually going away. Now I take my hammer, and this one here is a... And what we want to do, we don't want to make a dent, okay? Then I take my grinder. I'm going to go ahead and grind that down, and that dent is gone, okay? There's a small, I can feel it. It's very important that you learn how to use your hands, okay? When I say learn your hands, learn how to use it as in feeling the dent. It's very important that you use your hand to feel where the dent is, okay? Don't use it like this. Don't use your fingers. You have to use your whole hand to rub that body, okay? That's tin can. That's a tin can dent, okay? So let me pull that out again. And I'm pulling very lightly, okay? Do you see what I just did there? Now, as I feel this, I see that this is here is rolled up, but it's actually rolled down, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull the dent out, okay? Then I'm going to come up here. Now watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to pull it lightly. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pull it out again. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? Now, all right, now I'm going to come down here. Now what I'm doing is I'm working my way down to the major dent, okay? So I'm going to rub my hand across it. I see that that came out. I like the way that feels, okay? Feels right in here. It feels like there's still a small dent. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this one out while I can. And while I'm holding that, I'm going to go ahead and take my hammer. And I'm just going to go around the edge of the dent, see? And I'm going to make sure that I didn't pull out too much. Because working on a new car, okay, is not the same as working on an old car. Alright? And that one there feels pretty good and it's solid. See what I'm saying? So now what I'll do is I'll work my way all the way down the center of this dent here. And I'm going to take my time as I'm doing it. Pull a little bit out of the time. Right in the center, see? Right in the center where the crease is. Right. Now right here we got a situation because, see right here we got a little bit of a situation, so I'm going to hold that out. And I'm going to shrink that down so it won't push itself back in. I'm going to come up here. and I feel that that's dented right there on that straight body line. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out very lightly. And that's going to be a hard pull right there because it's right on. So I'm going to get me a little bit more. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to keep on going with it. See? Spot right here. So if we get a better look at our dent, you'll see that that dent has been pulled out right in this area. And you can see where I pulled it out here, and then it goes back down into a valley, okay? So this is the valley that we're going to take out, okay? I'm going to try to get a better angle of it. If you look at it from this angle, I don't really know if you can see it or not, but you can see everything that I pulled out here is flat, and then it sinks itself back in. That's what we're doing. We're taking our dent puller, and we are pulling out the center of that dent, and then shrinking the edges back down to stretch it out, okay? One more should do it. Now what that's doing, okay, what that's doing is our tip of our arc, our spot welder puller, spot dent puller, is actually getting too hot to use. And once that tip gets so hot, it actually pulls itself off, okay? So what you do is you go ahead and now what I'm going to do, once I have my dent already pulled out, ready to fit, repair, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the low spots that I still have in it, which is right here, and I'm going to pull out and hammer at the same time. And what I'm doing is I'm following my guideline that I made with my grinder, see? Because you want to keep your body damage contained. Okay, it's very important to keep it contained to the smallest area possible. We don't need to grind this whole section out, okay, for a damaged area such as this. Now I noticed another thing, I had to pull pretty hard in this area, and some of the little nipples here are sticking out, so I'm just gonna, all I'm doing now is I'm barely pulling on my dent puller. And once again, I'm gonna say it again, I'm going to repeat myself. If you aren't using this, and you happen to be using this, okay, treat it the same way. Hold it out, don't slide it, but hold it out, and use your hammer as you're pulling out on your slide hammer or your dent puller, and just give it a nice good tap, okay, along the edge there. Now this dent right here, okay, it's minor dent, but it's got to be, I don't want to fill, I could fill this up with Bondo, okay, and be done with it, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. The more that you can pull your dent out, the more that you can finesse the dent back to normal, the less bodywork, sandpaper, Bondo, paint supplies that you're going to use, and it's going to save you money in the long run. And the main thing about doing this is take your time, okay? So then what I do is I take my roll-a-lock disc. Now this is a used one. I want to use a used one. I don't want to use a brand new one due to the fact that we're already down to bare metal, and I don't want to heat the metal up and thin it anymore with a brand new disc. And all I'm going to do is our dent has been pulled out. There's a low spot right here, okay? What I'm doing now is I'm going back and double checking, see? There's a low spot right there where my finger is after I rub my hand on it. Pull that out. It's very important to get the whole dent out of the car. Did you see how I was doing that? Did you just watch that? See? I was actually using this as a slide hammer, see? Okay? Now I didn't go too hard and I didn't go too soft. Now see, now it's starting to pull itself out. It's starting to feel a lot better. I got a low spot right here. Go ahead. And what that's doing, that's stretching the metal back out into its original form, so you don't have any tin canning, see? So it's all the same. It feels like there's a dent right here and I can't. Sure does. So just from feeling what we got going on here, I just found another dent in this area right in here, see? I just found another dent. Now, what I just did is I went ahead and pulled all the dent out. Now, what I was doing is I was rubbing my hand across it. That's very important to do that. And as I was rubbing it, I found another dent that was invisible to the human eye. And what's going to happen if you don't find all your dents, that's why it's important. You have to use your hand, okay? It's very important that your hand plays a big part in this. If I wouldn't have... So, what I was doing is when I was feeling the dent, I noticed right in this area here, it's still dented. Now I know that that happened from this wreck because this area was dented in pretty bad and it could have went down this way, see? And it stops right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grind that out. I'm going to find the center of my dent, which is right up in here. See, it feels real good right here, but down here, there's a dent, see? Opposite direction so I know where to make my pull at. Alright? And then I'm going to repeat the process exactly how I was doing it to the rest of the vehicle.